How's it going, guys? It's from 18 here, and today I would like to talk about power creep in Skullgirls Mobile and why I think it both does, but also kind of doesn't exist in the current state of the game. So first, over time, as the years have passed, variants have actually definitely grown stronger in terms of their average utility for attackers and their average defensive capability for defenders. And one example of this is how we've gone from defenders like Armed Forces Resident Evil being really good to then and Reflect and Pain Wheels being really good, and then we have defenders being released today. And they're actually just very annoying to deal with without the likes of Precision Hex, the likes of Curl Scout, the likes of the upcoming Robo variant that was revealed, and the likes of Megalomaniac that are actually like a heavy skill check, etc., etc. Next, there's actually like the monthly variants that have been coming out. Some of these monthly variants, I'm not going to say every single one of these, some of them have actually just been very blatantly pushed compared to other variants, like, within their character. So Psykid is actually just a prominent example for Umbrella. Psykid is actually just far stronger than every other Gold Umbrella that has ever come out. And she is only really beaten by exactly D-Wish in terms of just overall offensive utility. Hexcalibur is just outright better at the precision niche than Golden Gunner is in terms of Black Dahlia's. Apex Complex is just a completely absurd variant. And we've got Curse. We've got, like, a huge DOT. We have a very large attack stat, too. Just a very powerful variant in general. Indomitable is kind of actually just a power creep of what Somersault was. Because Indomitable takes Somersault's buff removal and damage over time capabilities, and sort of, like, enhances them by also adding, like, heal block into the mix. It's Miasma for the DOT instead of straight DOT, so she also has recovery and meter control available to her. Just a very powerful variant. Sure, she has, like, one very slight weakness of, like, if she gets knocked down, she loses her stuff, while Somersault doesn't have a weakness like that. But let's be real, when Indomitable is going, she's pretty tough to stop. And then probably the most blatantly pushed monthly variant, in my opinion, is by far Brass Bandit. And that's because his offensive utility and damage are just better than every other big band they have ever made. Like, no joke, he was actually just given, he was given buff removal, and no other band has ever had that before. Additionally, we can also talk about power creep existing because of the latest round of buffs that had happened, and more specifically Windswept, because Windswept was a variant that had gone from just being completely irrelevant and just sort of existing as, like, kind of trying to be a hard-hitty attacker with enrages and haste and stuff. She went from that to actually just being the best precision user in the game. By a lot. And nothing has dethroned her since the buff. So, there's definitely signs of power creep. However, here's what I'm going to say about how it kind of doesn't exist. It's that Launch U-Host was a thing. Launch U-Host Like, okay, so back when Black Dahlia, for context, back when Black Dahlia had come out, Unholy Host was far and away the best variant in the entire game. She had everything that she has today, but her Drain was on any debuff, and her Taggin also had Hex, as well as the curse that everybody knows and loves today. And this version of Host was far and away the best thing in the entire game, both offensively and defensively. Offensively, she could take pretty much any matchup she wanted to. Defensively, she was incredibly oppressive and restrictive in terms of what kinds of counterplay could be used against her, because she shut off all buffs and signature abilities from the attacker, and also was able to combine the Drain with No Time to Die for absurd healing. So you had to deal with absurd healing on top of the he restricted options against her, and it was actually crazy. Now, why am I actually talking about Launch Host here? It's because none of the monthly variants that Hidden Variable has come out with, and none of the buffs that Hidden Variable has come up with, none of those things have truly been able to match this level of domination and power. Even Windswept. Because Windswept, for being the best precision variant in the game, she still isn't actually taking White Tainted Blood matchups. She's not nearly even as close to generic as Launch Host was. So yeah, there you have it. I hope you all enjoyed me actually just rambling a bit about power creep and stuff, and I will see you guys next time.